I've already made 6 videos of Japan, but I don't think I could actually live there. People often say Japanese society is clean and polite. I don't buy that explanation. What I see instead is a fear of disorder and a strong instinct not to inconvenience others. Same with those hot-blood anime heroes, gritting their teeth, pushing past human limit. I'm more interested in where that image even comes from. Because if you're a kind of person who keep asking why, and why should it be this way, chances are Japan's not built for you. So who thrives there and who struggles? Alright, no small talk. Let's strip it down to the root. There are 4 types of people who usually don't do well in Japanese society. First, people with strong emotional needs. Second, people with a strong urge to express themselves openly. Third, people with unstable and creative circles. Think musicians and artists driven by mood. And fourth, people like me, people who keep poking at hidden rules and asking why. In Japan, asking why should it be this way gets translated as why you're always overthinking. Some of you might object, wait, Japan is famous for music, design, anime, and philosophy. How can it be unfriendly to creative people? The answer is Japan produces craftsman's type artists extremely well, but it rarely rewards disruptive artistic personalities. Yes, Japan has many schools of thought, but they tend to think deeply while expressing cautiously. They ask what is beauty, but rarely why does this count as beauty, and who decided that? You're allowed to dissect a chrysanthemum endlessly, but you're not supposed to ask why it has to be chrysanthemum in the first place. If Galileo feels too distant, think of figures like Sakamoto Ryuma or Kakura Tenshin. Japan does produce disruptive geniuses, but only as symbolic figures, carefully filtered and sanitized. To be fair, no civilization truly welcomes people who dig too deep. But Japan and East Asian societies in general take this step further. Even the geniuses you're allowed to see is processed, because in these societies, economy, science, and art are bound to institutional roles. Conflict and questioning are not treated as personal growth. They are treated as systemic instability. And because unpredictability and system-level risk are not separated into different boxes, there's simply no place for disruptive talent to exist. That's the real reason radical genius struggles to survive here. Now there are also 4 types of people who adapt extremely well life in Japan. First, people with low emotional demand. They don't need emotional validation. They process their emotions internally. Second, people who can accept effort without proportional reward. This sounds anti-human, I know, but many Japanese craftsmen really do spend their entire life perfecting a single step in the process. Third, people who like order, who hate chaos and uncertainty. Fourth, people who don't chase overnight success and comfortable with system assigned paths. Mid-level corporate workers, entry-level civil servants, ordinary school teachers. They don't seek meaning, they don't want praise, they don't want to change the world or stand out. Salary growth is slow, but life is stable. Japanese society treats those people very well. You might think this sounds a little bit depressing. How does a society like this produce so many Nobel Prize winners? How does it build world-class high-end manufacturing? Dig one layer deeper and the pattern becomes clear. Japan's strength lies in refinement, not disruption. Breakthroughs happens in very narrow fields, through long-term verifications, not sudden flashes of genius. Yes, the top-level education design gets updated, but at the ground level, teaching methods and goals are highly standardized. The real mission of basic education is not to turn ordinary people to genius. It's make sure ordinary people don't derail, and almost none of these Nobel-level minds are products of that standard education. Once you see who fits and who doesn't, you realize how different real Japan from its anime version. Willpower means charging forward even when failure is guaranteed. Bodies collapse, but the spirits burns harder. No support, no understanding, no retreat. Personal will breaks all structural limits. Real Japanese society doesn't reward that. It doesn't encourage open confrontation. It doesn't celebrate fighting to the system. What it rewards is endurance, not breakthrough. So Japanese willpower is not misunderstood. It's misread. It's not Senseiya style cosmic fire. It's low variation, long duration persistence. No applause? Fine. No sense of meaning? Also fine. If anything, Japan is not strong at burning bright, it's strong at lasting longer. And because real life is often dull and suffocating, anime rewrites endurance as fighting spirit, turns forced persistence into chosen destiny, and transforms structural pressure into personal glory. That's why anime, music, films, and countless niche subcultures in Japan exist as psychological compensation. This is not about right or wrong. It's a civilization choosing high stability over high mobility and making it work. Alright, that's it for today. If you also like digging to the root, hit follow. Next time we're starting breaking down Korea.